back with another episode of the crossover, the final episode of this season, and we'll be back in the fall. But I couldn't do this by myself. My boy was on vacay for a little bit, so I had to wait for him to come back, and that's fine because we had to wrap this one up together. The R is back in the building. Ravi, welcome back. A few things have happened since you left. We'll wrap this up and discuss that. I honestly, I was waiting for you to get back in the country to discuss this first topic, man.
Oh boy! even while I was away, I caught wind of this topic.
Okay, so what we're about to discuss here, and we're gonna get our take on this, is of course, it starts off so harmless as these things always do. A little meme going around Facebook in this case, kind of asking the question: if you had the best 5 Bulls in history versus the best 5 Lakers perceived as the best 5 Lakers in history, even that's debatable. Who would win? And even we had it in our rant community in this case on Facebook. Pretty much most of the guys said the Lakers. I don't know what you said. I don't think you actually posted at that time, but I know I had said so. I don't know.
I didn't see it, and I didn't. That's probably when I was away. But
let me give you the 5 if I can recall. Bulls 5: Rose, Jordan, Pippen,
Grant.
Rodman, and Grant versus the Lakers 5: Magic, Kobe, Jabbar, Baylor, and Jabbar, Baylor, and Shaq.
So here's the thing: Shaq was the one that actually posted that.
Oh, Shaq's the one that started the initial post there?
Shaq's the one that started that post, and he said he put we would beat the Bulls by 50.
You sure he's the one started? I thought it was already just going around. He kind of picked up on it.
No, it was the Diesel that sent that one off.
Well, here's the thing.
In true Diesel fashion.
Yeah, true Diesel. Here, on merit in this case here, before we get into all the particulars that came afterwards, on merit, I think he's right. I'm just sorry. It's like, it's done. You were going to play Rodman out there in 5. I'm sorry. You just couldn't. Because Rodman...
I agree the Lakers would... let's face it. There's no all-time great Bulls except for 2, okay? There's no all-time great Bulls.
Rodman's an all-time... Well, I guess an all-time great Bull. He could be on the Pistons, too, but...
Exactly. Rodman was...
Could he be on the Pistons?
I think he played along with... He only played for the Bulls for 3 years.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking if I had to pick my best 5 Pistons.
Oh, okay.
I got 3 spots already locked down. I got 4 spots locked down. I'm just thinking, because I'm thinking to myself, okay, so Bob Lanier's getting center. We know who the backcourt is.
Yep.
People forget Grant Hill will probably get the small forward spot.
Yep.
And my power forward spot now is amongst a few dudes. Rodman would be one, though. If you want to move Mark Aguirre into a power forward spot, if you really want to play it that way. And I'm thinking, who else would be a serious Piston? Rasheed? Yeah. I think you're scrapping Rasheed.
Yeah.
But I'm probably forgetting an old school Piston that's a top dog that I'm forgetting. Dantley?
You got Adrian Dantley.
Yeah. AD maybe just from the length of time is productivity. I don't know. I kind of like that 5 Detroit maybe to go against the Bulls 5 in this case. I think that would be a very interesting battle.
But
But let's slide there. But I say my point is I think there's better matchups against the Lakers. Beat Celtics, the obvious choice. The Sixers would be a killer 5.
Agreed.
I think Detroit might have a decent thing, but maybe not as strong. But I think might be strong in the Bulls. That's my argument on that one. But there's a couple other ones in this case here that I think Houston would have a pretty nasty 5, actually.
Yeah, I think Houston would have a
Houston would have a crazy 5.
Yeah, I think the Bulls were a great team, but when you're talking about all-time players and all-time teams,
the Bulls don't have a lot of pedigree as far as top talent in this case playing through the Bulls of their career. That's why I'm saying those teams like Houston and Philadelphia, are big teams. I would think, and of course Boston. I would think automatically okay, you know what? Guys Houston's 5 would be a pretty devastating 5. I think when you think about who would be on their team, because you still could put Drexler technically on that team. Just really accomplish one championship.
He played there for what, two seasons?
2 seasons. 1 season? Yeah, well, Robin didn't play a ton of time at Chicago either.
But I wouldn't even put him on the Bulls team. I put him by default.
Well, he played on the Bulls, so he could go with the team. So there's no think of how long you were a Bull or something like that. If you were a top player at the time and you played at the highest level for that particular organization, does that mean more than Orlando Woolridge playing for them for 10 years? Probably it does. I like Orlando Woolridge. Can score at the best of them. Can't play like a defense, but can score at the best of them. But am I putting Woolridge on that team before one of them? Not likely. Yeah. Even though he played more seasons, that's all it is. I mean,
but again, that just goes back to the point in terms of when you're looking at all-time great players. I mean, if you look at the Laker team, those guys have played there for years, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't think you have one guy who only played on that Laker team for just 3 years.
True.
Right?
True.
So, I mean, Rodman kind of gets on there by default to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Right?
But let's get into really where the fun starts now. So the meme goes out and everyone's talking about it. And then Shaq then decides, as you said before, we'll beat them by 50 points, you said before. Then Pippen responds back. I guess he kind of gives a shot back. It's pretty much saying, like, I don't think in this case here, he came back kind of with a little shot, but he said it would be competitive, I think, if I recall.
No, what Pippen said, he's like, I don't do hypotheticals. And he's
right.
Like, if memory serves correctly, we doubled your championships that what you got in LA. Right. And facts.
That is facts. But in this case, it's not one particular Bulls squad versus one particular Lakers squad. It's all time. Yeah, so I think Pippen tried to do the class thing you see in the political world. He tried to shift the argument. Where in this case here, that isn't what the argument is. It's not like the Bulls of '93 versus the Lakers of 2001.
Yeah, it's all time.
It's all time.
All time.
From that standpoint, I think Pippen's argument doesn't hold water. Now Shaq came back, I must admit, with some other barbs. In this case, one which I thought was quite clever, actually, when he talked about the alley-oop for that in Portland, which was quite nice. That was quite timely. Pretty much saying Jordan can't protect you then, pretty much. Blew a 17-point lead. Wait, man, make a point. I just saying.
Well, I mean, Pippen should have came back with what happened to the '96 playoffs when the Magic got swept out there 4-0 by the Bulls.
Right, but in this case, the year before, in this case, what Orlando do to them?
Yeah, Orlando won 4-2 with Jordan playing, 17 games? So,
you should be fresh to everybody else.
The guy's not even within basketball.
Oh, yeah,
he still got 2 games.
I thought he dropped the double nickel that y'all love to talk about. Was that the same season? With the 4 or 5, the quote Jigga Man? Come on now. You can't have it both ways.
Hey, man, all I'm saying, this is one of my major issues with Shaq over the years. Shaq is so insecure. He always has to sit there and tell you how good Shaq is and how good we are. Come on, Shaq.
Well,
I could argue and say Shaq is probably the most underachieving player in the history of the NBA.
You could make that argument. I mean, I think it's a little tough, but you can make that argument, especially when it comes to rebounding. I know Rodman ripped on her about that. When you're 7'1", 335 pounds, and you've never led the league in rebounding, that's Kobe takes shots at him about his condition and stuff like that. I mean, all that is completely true. I can't, fair enough. I think those are shots like Shaq said, but to say that and just assume, it's not easy winning championships. That's just a fact. It's not easy.
No, it's not easy, but I mean, I think with Shaq's ability. If Shaq had a serious mindset, like a consistently serious mindset, I think Shaq could have been the best player to ever play the game, to be quite honest with you.
I mean, he's pretty damn good right now. He's not the best, but fair enough. But he's pretty damn good. I don't think you go. Honestly, I don't care who's a Hoops fan. You'd be hard pressed to tell anybody in this case you can go 15 players deep before you get your Shaquille O'Neal.
No, I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is he could have been a lot better than what he was. Now here's the thing: you have a lot of guys that played up to their potential, and they netted out where they netted out, like a Barkley, like a Malone, guys like that. Those guys played up to their potential. Shaq, the way I look at it, in my opinion, I don't think Shaq ever played up to his full potential. To be quite honest.
I don't know, man.
I think he did it in stretches, but I don't think he did it consistently.
I would agree to that to some extent, but then again, when you're talking about someone of that size, we don't know what would happen to a guy that played his full potential. Would he even be around for 15 or 18 years to play? So those are things you got to look at the other way. Because no one we ever seen with a body that big and have that type of agility, could he survive that type of pace?
I think he could have. I mean,
I don't think he could.
We all know Shaq was not a guy it's well documented in terms of conditioning, in terms of coming into camp in shape, in terms of focusing on basketball throughout the season. I mean, I think those types of shortcomings with Shaq, it's well documented, right?
Right. But I think the key point you're making is I think it's amazing. We've talked about this before. The insecurities of Shaq about how the discussion devolved into what it was. You know, kind of referring to him as a girl and all sorts of like stuff that's for 8-year-olds. Like, really? And the
I mean, I get exactly.
And Shaq, and the thing is, Shaq has the argument on his side.
Yep.
I mean, like, you don't even have to do that. You know?
I think he came back. I think he came back yesterday, and I mean, no one's even talking at this point. And he came back and he still posted something. He posted a picture, and he made some kind of comment saying, you know, I don't tolerate being disrespected by bums. He's like, you know, I'm the bridge, you're the water. I'll always be above you. And it's like, come on, man.
Dude,
like,
you just come off looking small. Like, I mean, it's pathetic. I mean, as I said before, that's why those guys on TNT always dig with the Superman joke. Because they know it just gets under his skin because he's a little touches dude. You know?
That's exactly
You know,
it.
they stick it to him all the time. You know, it's like, dude, like calm yourself down a little bit, man. It's like way too sensitive about things. You know? Yeah, we understand in this case here, you know, in this case here, Pippen's not a guy that's going to be a guy, it's a franchise player you're going to have as your primary dude. Yeah. I get that. You know, even though it gives an interesting point, though. And I'm kind of going a slight bit off topic. I don't want to get too much in this, but I know this might go in a whole other direction. But I'm curious now. You know, with this top, everyone's going to throw these 2 top 50 players of all time. Okay, fair enough. At the time it was. If you're doing a top 50 today, with now all the players we had since that time,
yeah.
Does Pippen still make that top 50?
I mean, well, if you
there's a couple. To be fair, there's a couple Celtics that shouldn't even be on that list in the first place. Yeah. Okay, so I ain't trying to pick on Pippen.
You know, so it's interesting. So I'm actually reading some stuff on the Bulls right now, and in Pippen's prime years, he was averaging, I think, 22, 8 boards, 5 assists, 2 steals. It's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
And on top of that being, I mean, lockdown defender, getting in passing lanes. I mean,
that's true, too.
He's pretty good with that stuff.
But, I mean, let's call a spade a spade. He did that for a good stretch, but not a long, long stretch.
Oh, he did that for, I mean, I think for, like I would say from, 1990 to about 98.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's a decent stretch. But
even the year before they won when Detroit knocked them out that third year.
I think what's telling on him in this case here, which I would question a little bit, is that with Pippen, how much was it about system versus the player? And when he's a guy, once he got moved on, he took the money down in Portland. It wasn't that he was that hurt. He was hurt, but he still wasn't that far away from his prime. But I'm pretty sure if you look at his Portland numbers, they dropped off pretty fast.
Well, I think his scoring numbers definitely dropped off.
Right.
Because he wasn't, I mean, you had Rasheed, Bonzi Wells, Damon was on that team at that time, so you had a lot of guys.
Slow your roll for a second. And this is the part where I think the Shaq mentality comes in. Dude, you're up for MVP for a few seasons. Playing as a 6-time champion. When you roll in there, dude's got to fall back. Damon started with Bonzi Wells. What the heck are these dudes? Come on.
But what I'm saying is that's never been. You just said it. That's never been Pippen's mentality.
But I'm not saying he has to be scoring 30 a night like Jordan. But dude, you got to assert yourself to some extent. That's what they brought you in for, which is probably the reason why they lost a 17-point lead in the first place. Because you can't. Yeah.
If you look at his numbers from that first season in Portland, they were pretty good. I mean, I don't have them off the bat right now, but his first season definitely was pretty good in Portland.
I think he was like high teens, I think, or something like that.
Around there.
18, yeah. I just wonder how much is the coaching the system that helped Pippen in this case versus Pippen's skill set. And I'm not saying Pippen's skill set wasn't great, but I just find in this case here that I would be curious to see if you had to restock the 50 greatest. Yeah. Would Pippen make the list? Because for sure Dominique got to get back on that list. He should have been there in the first place.
Agreed.
Okay. Then you know who for sure going to be there. You know. And the other one too. So I mean Kobe and LeBron going to have big spots in there.
Yeah.
If we assume Durant's foot's okay, Durant's going to be in there.
Yeah.
And I would put all 3 of those individuals ahead of Pippen.
And Duncan would. I don't think Dunk was on that.
No. So
Duncan
that's 4. And I didn't even go with the thing. Now you got Dirt probably in there. That's 5. And any one of them in some circumstances.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with you with that first 4.
Dirk is the one that's where the Mendoza line kicks in. Yeah. Dirk's the one where it's like, okay, you might have me on that one.
Without the club, Brian. You can't put
me in the club on that one? Sorry, you can't slide in there. Little home cook your Dallas, though. No, I agree. Yeah. Dirk would be the one would be below Pippen. Yeah. But the other 4, yeah. The other 4, yeah.
Other 4, I agree. Correct.
But you know, there's some dudes in here you start thinking about. It's like, I ain't sure Pippen made that 50 yet to do it now. But anyways, it's interesting to see the personality of Shaq come out in its glory and sad state affairs with that. I thought Pippen did a great job getting this grown man on, saying like, dude, whatever, kind of. He just dismissed it and moved on, like whatever.
Now you know what I wanted to see. I mean, he's going after Pippen, or and he's responding to Pippen. I want to see him try to name check the other guy there in red and black.
Well, I mean,
and see what happens to him.
Yeah, well,
and Jordan won't even. Jordan, I mean, he's not even going to respond.
Well, he's the owner, so he's not going to get involved in all that to begin with. But the overall point in this case here, as far as the team in this case, yeah, Shaq has the argument, but as far as other stuff, it's a bunch of nonsense by Shaq. But let's move on since we're on the Laker mode here. We're going to give you all your Laker. This is like your little gift coming back here. So, part 2. Okay, so now we have the press conferences coming the last few weeks and stuff like that. And LA, in true fashion, wants to have a big blow about all the moves they made over the offseason. Having the fans just licking their chops for a new season with all these new moves. With Hibbert, Sweet Lou, the first round draft pick, and I can't remember who was the next man they had in there too. Who was the third dude?
You had the fourth Hibbert, dude. You had Lou and
who was the other big free agent they picked up? Anyways, whoever it is, this shows you how meaningful they were. We can't remember who the heck it was off the top of our heads. Anyhow, the four of them are sitting there, and they're asking questions. If you just ask the questions, and then someone asked, "Has Kobe reached out to any of them?" And their response, they made it onto like Morning Joe or something like that. I was watching some cable news show. Like, this is how big this thing got. Folks just looked around, asked the question. When the journalists asked the question, they all looked around and had this look like, awkward silence came.
Well, this is when you're in July, almost in August, when this is actually making news. Okay, yes. Because I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think it's a deal, to be quite honest with you.
But okay,
I think would it have been nice for him to reach out? Yeah, it would have been nice for him to reach out.
No, right. No one's talking about if he reached out. No one does that. No one cares about it because most people ask that and they'll say the natural answer. No, we haven't heard from whatever star or whatever coach or whatever the case may be, and move on. Next question. It's the response to the question that is the part that's got people asking the question like, wow. Because someone can easily say like, yeah, it's like, no, I haven't heard from him yet, but I'm sure we'll catch up at some point.
I think those guys escalated. I mean, they could have easily said no, we haven't heard from them. And that question was a 2-part question because they said, have any of you guys heard from Kobe? And if so, what did he tell you?
Right.
And that's when.
Well, you can't answer part 2 if you haven't talked to him.
Well, that's the thing. Just say no, we haven't heard from him.
Wow.
That's it.
But I think
the fact that they all three of them sat there and purposely not said anything.
Is there a franchise that wants a player to leave so badly as LA does with Kobe? Like when Jeter was retiring in New York, I remember the Yankees saying like, "Oh, geez, please come out the door, come Derek, just get going." Like I'm thinking of scenarios.
Because Jeter's last year, Jeter knew he was on the way out. Jeter wasn't trying to prove anything.
True.
He was just enjoying the farewell.
Yeah,
tour.
I'm running through my head Mariano Rivera. I'm trying to think to myself like dudes that had like long historic type of careers, and folks are saying like, "Please, can't wait for you to go." It's like here's the parting gift on the way out. Like, the Lakers are doing everything they can, pretty much like say, "Please, we don't want to make it comfortable. You need to go." So they're begging for him to say, "This is it."
Now, I mean, to all fairness to Kobe too. I mean, Kobe's on vacation. He's over in Europe somewhere. I think before he left, the one new guy he reached out to was D'Angelo Russell.
Yes.
So that's been documented.
Yes.
So he
pretty much he told him, "Get me the damn ball." That's pretty much what he told him. Everything will be all right. That's what he told him. He probably told him about 6 languages too, just in case he couldn't understand English, maybe French, Spanish, Portuguese.
Well, hey, I mean, like I said, Kobe's not playing the full season. I'd be surprised if he makes it to 40 to 50 games.
Just unreal. There's never been anyone like him. And on that note, man, it really does sum up the season. Since we had with Kobe. Oh man. So man, beyond the locker room, I'll probably try to see if I can get one out this week. I really want to talk on some topics that really, some stuff that happened just over the weekend, I guess Friday. Boy, I tell you, I know what's going on in the sports world. Folks losing their mind up in this place, man. But,
well, you got Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, I got to get in on that a little bit. You know, this stuff going on with Cowherd. I got to get in on all this stuff, man, because it's like folks damn lose their mind up in this place on Friday. Charles Haley, there's like too much stuff going on, man. So I got to speak on that. So Beyond the Locker Room will be back. We'll get into discussions about sports. Some of the other sports going on. You know, we got now, training camp starting up in the NFL soon. So you got some tennis, U.S. Open coming up. Baseball's coming down for the season. And I'll probably also have a little discussions and thoughts on the Pan games and how they affect the city, as we as Toronto folks, and give my thoughts on that. So I'll probably try to spit a couple of those out before the weekend's out. But Ravi, man, hey, man, it's been a fun first season. Looking forward to the new season coming up in the fall. All the moves making things really interesting, man. We'll see.
Yeah, it's been a really, really fun first inaugural season.
Yes, man.
Beyond the Locker Room.
Yeah, man. We're gonna look for some ways to try and find ways to improve it. We love to get your all feedback on it. And for the last time this season, where can the good folks find you?
At Mr. Ravi _Porvita.
And you can find me as always at Beyond Locker Room, short for RM, man. Everyone take care, be safe, enjoy this rest of the summer, and we'll see you all in the fall, man.
And keep us in your top 50.
Yes. Later.